dog days of summer are here, and now we just talk about the same 5 things over and over again.
Pretty much.
You could just do what ESPN and Shams does, where it's just, all right, do the Giannis trade thing.
Did you see the Milwaukee Bucks official X account?
Yeah, I just saw that just like a couple minutes ago.
They put up, they just had a yawning emoji in response to Shams reporting about Giannis Antetokounmpo and his decision. Let's talk about the video that you just did recently. Great video, by the way, detailing the craziness that was the 24-25 season. And one of the things I enjoyed most about it slightly was that it really not only took us down memory lane of what happened throughout the course of the year, but there were several things I had forgotten about that happened, including, and I texted you about this, the whole plague that swept the team for a good portion of the season there, where Najee Marshall was like in and out, sick. It was like, what the hell is going on with this team and what's paying pass? What was the most enjoyable part about this project for you?
I mean,
was there anything enjoyable
about the project for you?
Well, it was funny looking back at the plague thing, because I was reminded, like, that was the biggest story of the season for a lot of the season, was this reoccurring illness that was going around. But no, I mean, I thought it was funny. I found there was a video I made on my channel in like January where it was titled, "This is what a season from hell looks like." So it was just funny looking back at how bad the season was going up until the trade, where it just progressively got worse and worse, that you almost forget how bad it was up until the trade, that it was outside of a few good weeks in December. Like, there was not a lot going on for the team at any point during the season. And it was pretty funny to look back on.
The video is called "The Craziest Season in History, a Full Timeline of the 2024-2025 Dallas Mavericks" by Slightly Biased, of course, who's joining us now. Was there any joy? What was name one good thing that happened that I have forgotten about?
The best thing, I mean, for me, Brandon Williams probably was the best part of the season. Like, a two-way guy that turned into an actual NBA player. That's pretty rare and always exciting.
You didn't go back to the Dereck Lively Giannis comparisons in the preseason?
Oh God, no, because I was like, please guys, please quit. Like, this is where things go wrong for these young guys. Even with like shooting, Dereck Lively shooting, I'm like, guys, please stop, because you're just going to disappoint yourself when he's not taking 5 threes like you're hoping he does a game, and it's more maybe 3 over the course of the whole season.
I just think Giannis is like, it's too low of a comparison. Like, he's going to be better than that.
It should be more the Hakeem, Kareem type of. Jump hooks.
Like, basically, the way I view Dereck Lively, imagine if Steph Curry was tall. That's going to be him in a few seasons.
Every NBA player can shoot in an empty gym, but Dereck Lively's different.
Yeah.
He does it in a way that's just...
Damn.
You just tell it's different than everybody else. Are we still doing is he going to shoot threes this year?
We literally did a whole segment last week about it.
I was about to say, was that y'all that said that he only shot one time?
Shot one jumper last season. Yeah, that was my stat that I want to pull. It was the fewest in the league by any player with at least 800 minutes. One jump shot. and that jump shot was very clearly a floater. But I'm just going by Second Spectrum's classifications of what shots are.
I'd have to see what Steven Adams' 2 jump shots are.
He shot 2.
I'm about to say, he looked it all up. He looked it all up.
I can pull them up and send them to you. They are probably late shot clock, kind of one-handed floater type stuff that got defined as jumpers as well.
No, I say, because I saw Steven Adams had 2, and then I was thinking to myself, like, I cannot imagine a Steven Adams jump shot.
It is. I mean, everybody shoots free throws, so I guess the idea is like, if you're standing at the free throw line and nobody's guarding you, just kind of use that form again.
The noted good free throw shooter, Dereck Lively.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
What's your big picture thoughts on the season, on the off season, the summer? Sorry.
I mean, I considered a huge successful offseason for the Mavericks only because they got Cooper Flagg. But, I think they're a good, solid team. That's kind of where I'm at with them. I don't think they're a contender. They would have had to have done something crazy, I think. And I do wonder if getting Cooper Flagg maybe just toned down how aggressive they were maybe going to be. Where now it's like, all right, maybe we hold on to some picks, or maybe we hold on to some future assets versus making a play for like a Kobe White or something. And we just see what we have in Flagg and then do what we need to do beyond that. But I think they'll be good. I just think, nobody wants to hear it. Everybody hates me for it when I talk about the Thunder, because I think they're incredible. And I think they're going to continue to be incredible and much better than the Mavericks. And I think the Nuggets and Rockets are probably much better. But then outside of those three, I think, the Mavs could be the 4th seed. Like, that wouldn't shock me that much.
Yeah, I've described it as like kicking the can down the road, where it's like eventually there has to be trades that happen. Like, just, you can't look at the roster and not assume that they're going to consolidate in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the Gafford
if you don't do it this second, it's fine.
I thought for sure Gafford was going to get traded. Like, I thought for sure that was like set in stone. So him signing was surprising to me, but would I be shocked if he finished that contract with the Mavs? Absolutely. That would be stunning to me if he finished that contract. So we'll see. Definitely. They'll make something. They're the most aggressive team at the deadline. We know that for sure.
Luka was out here thirst trapping last week, and you had some interesting thoughts about the whole thing with him, appearing on Men's Health. What have you made about, Luka getting all IG modeled up, hanging out with the Backstreet Boys and all this other stuff with his boy Rob Pelinka? What have you made of all of this?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because that's not really who Luka's always been. But I think if I just had to guess, I think Jordan Brand sees a real legit pathway for him to become the face of the league. So that's what they're really pushing hard. I don't know. If I were Luka, I have to imagine Luka doesn't want to do the Good Morning America bits where they're asking him if he's on Ozempic, just because
that was a wild ass question. Like, when they asked that question, I was like, whoa, they really went for the GLP-1 conversation. Okay, all right. Okay.
It's like, no, I'm a professional athlete who gets paid tens of millions of dollars to work out every day, all day. So that's what it's from. But no, I think it's, it is what it is. Luka's gotten into shape in the past for the Mavs. So I don't know if it's like I try to watch my words with this because there's no nuance allowed in any of these conversations. Like, you just get screamed at and yelled at no matter what you say. But, it is, if you're a Mavs fan, I think it's right to be a little frustrated. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and what I've said is like you said, I think pretty much every summer he works out. He could do a story about it. He's arrived nearly every time, nearly every season in shape. It's all about how he responds to the emotional ups and downs of the in season. And sometimes that starts really early. Like, sometimes you look back at last season, it's like you show up in shape and then you get hurt the day before training camp and you're ready by opening day. And between that time you showed up in shape and opening day, clearly something was lost in translation here. Clearly you did not keep things going. The other thing I'll say is, like, I agree that Luka is not. I highly doubt that he was enjoyed being on Good Morning America. He has got slightly more willing to do stuff like this. He's at least said yes begrudgingly, like a little bit, like 5% more each year he's been in the NBA. So I can't imagine this was, it probably wasn't pulling teeth bad. It was probably just like, okay, fine, I'll do it if you say I have to. But it is weird. It is weird. I agree with you. I think the Jordan part is probably the best case scenario. I think obviously Luka's team also wanted to really push back at narratives. Some of them to an extent that were unfair. Some of them that, I think Mavs fans can have a lot of complicated feelings on. But it's an athlete going around saying, look how fit I am. I'm doing my job.
I know. It is
and
weird.
I get it. It's just, it was all in all this strange thing.
This is setting up for him to win the MVP. That's the conclusion I've come to, is like, this is a quote unquote reframing of a narrative to set up the story for him to be the league's MVP going into.
Shahid says Luka Ozempic.
That's
pretty good.
That's
if I'm leading a team and I'm like, you need Ozempic, I'm looking for a trade immediately.
Yeah, exactly. If that's your first plan of action for me to get no, we got to try something else. Before we let you go, obviously the Luka trade was the most memorable thing from this past season. But when you reflected on the entirety of the season, what was kind of the common theme and thread that you landed on, given the totality of what was the 24-25 season for this team?
I mean, it felt like, so I always thought the 22-23 season when they missed a play-in was like worst case scenario. You play that season 100 times, you've just got the worst case scenario type of outcome. Last year just felt like every week, you go back and look at it, it's like every week something bad happened with the team. Whether that was an injury or poor play. I mean, I went back and I looked, they were 1-6 in their first 7 clutch games. Like, I forgot how bad of a start they got off to the season. They were 5-7 to start the season. Like, I remembered it being slow, but I didn't remember it being that actively bad.
And the Utah loss was the worst.
Yeah, that one was so bad looking back on it. But they had so many bad losses that it was just everything that could have gone wrong for the Mavericks did. Like, that was it. Everything that could have gone wrong up until the trade. And then you get Anthony Davis, and then he has the first three. And literally, you think to yourself, the only thing that can make this worse is if Anthony Davis gets hurt in his first game. Like, that is literally the worst possible thing that can happen now. And then he gets hurt in his very first game. I mean, it was just insane.
Slightly tell the folks where they can find you and where your work is, man.
YouTube.com/slightlybiased. That's really it.
Slightly, it's good to see you as always, my man. Thank you for hanging out with us here on the show today. And we'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, boys.